What's up, Packers Nation? Victor here. And buckle up, because this offseason just went from calm to chaos real quick in Green Bay. In the span of just a few days, the Packers lost Jeff Hafley, the defensive mastermind who helped turn this unit from 17th to top 5 in the NFL. And now Matt Laflur is officially on the hunt for yet another defensive coordinator. Yeah, another one. That makes for defensive coordinators in the Laflur era. Let that sink in for a second. Hafley didn't just leave, he left to become head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And honestly, good for him. But from a Packers fan perspective, this one hits hard. This was the guy who brought swagger back to the defense. The guy who told his players, forget the noise, this is who we are. Let's make them beat us. And the results backed it up. Top 10 against the run. Top 10 in takeaways, and before the injuries hit, this defense looked like a real championship unit. Now the big question is, where do the Packers go from here? And here's where things get really interesting. Green Bay has already started interviewing external candidates, and one name that stands out is a key part of the Vikings defensive staff under Brian Flores. A coach with deep experience in the secondary, strong results against the pass, and ties to elite defensive minds around the league. And that might tell us something huge about the direction Lafleur wants this defense to go. Is this about replacing Hafley's aggression? Is this about building a defense that can slow down today's elite passing attacks? Or is this the start of a bigger coaching reset now that Lafleur just signed his extension? We're going to break all of that down. What Hafley leaving really means. Why this next hire is absolutely critical, and what kind of defense the Packers could be building in 2026 and beyond. But before we dive in, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed, and help us hit our insane goal of 2,000 subscribers right here on Packers Nation Report. This channel is built by Packers fans, for Packers fans, and we're just getting started. Alright, let's talk about the future of this defense. Man, this one hurts, but at the same time, it was coming. Jeff Hafley is officially gone. The architect of the Packers' defensive turnaround, the guy who brought swagger, aggression, and identity back to this defense, is now the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. And today, we're breaking down what Hafley leaving really means for Matt Lafleur, for this defense, for guys like Micah Parsons, and for the future of the Green Bay Packers. Hafley's impact, this was not just a guy first things first. Let's be clear. Jeff Hafley wasn't just another defensive coordinator. Matt Lafleur knew this was coming. He literally said last week, I fully anticipate him getting one of these jobs. But players, they didn't want to believe it. Micah Parsons straight up said, nah, Haf ain't going nowhere. And honestly, that tells you everything you need to know about how respected Hafley was in that locker room. From day one, players loved him. The numbers don't lie, let's talk facts. Before Hafley arrived, the Packers' defense was 17th overall in 2023. In Hafley's first season, 5th overall defense in the NFL, that is not normal. That is elite impact. Top 10 against the run, top 10 in takeaways, aggressive fronts, more man coverage. Less soft zone garbage we suffered through 4 years before Micah Parsons tore his ACL in week 15, 6th in total yards allowed, 8th versus the run, 8th versus the pass after the injury. The defense dropped to 12th overall, 18th versus the run, 11th versus the pass, and then that nightmare. That wildcard loss to the Bears, giving up 25 points in the fourth quarter. Pain. Absolute pain. Why players loved Hafley? Listen to what Micah Parsons said. This is huge. His mentality was F it. Let's fight. This is who we are. Make them beat us. That mentality. That's Packers football. Hafley challenged everyone differently. Xavier McKinney on the back end, Quay Walker in the middle, letting Micah be Micah, giving him the green light to be great. This wasn't a one-size-fits-all defense. This was tailored, aggressive, and modern. That's why losing Hafley hurts. What this means for Matt Lafleur. Now here's where it gets really interesting. This will be the 4th defensive coordinator under Matt Lafleur. That's not ideal, but the good news, Lafleur was prepared. And league sources say the name to watch is Raheem Morris. Lafleur calls him, my guy. They've worked together before, and there's serious trust there. Other potential candidates, Bobby Babich Bills, Zach or Ravens, Dannard Wilson Titans, Brian Flores, YES, that Brian Flores from the Vikings, Gus Bradley, Matt Eberflus, and don't rule out internal promotions, DeMarcus Covington, Derek Ansley, Ryan Downard. This is a massive decision, because whoever comes in, they're inheriting talent. Stability still matters. Here's the underrated part. Matt Lafleur just signed a contract extension. That matters. League sources say it actually helps attract top coaching candidates because there's stability at the top. No uncertainty. No hot seat panic. A clear vision. But Lafleur also has decisions to make on offense and special teams. Could this offseason bring a full coordinator reset? Don't rule it out. Yes, losing Jeff Hafley sucks. There's no sugarcoating that. But this also proves something important. The Packers are developing coaches again. Green Bay is respected again. and this team is still trending up. Now the question is, can Matt Laflur make the right hire and keep this defense aggressive, physical, and fearless? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Who do you want as the next defensive coordinator? Alright, Packers Nation. So now that we've laid out the full impact of Jeff Hafley leaving Green Bay and what that means for Matt Laflur and this defense moving forward, there's one thing that becomes crystal clear. This isn't just about losing a coach, it's about what comes next. Because the moment Hafley accepted that head coaching job in Miami, the clock officially started ticking in Green Bay, and the Packers didn't waste a single second. That's where the story takes its next turn. With Lafleur and the front office already deep into their contingency plans, names are starting to surface. Interviews are being scheduled. Philosophies are being evaluated. And now, we're getting our first real clues about the type of defensive coordinator the Packers might be targeting, and what kind of defense they want to build in the post-Hafley era. So let's shift gears. We've talked about the why behind Hafley's departure. Now it's time to talk about the who, because the Packers have already lined up interviews, and one candidate in particular might tell us a lot about the future of this defense. Packers Nation, listen up. The search for the next Green Bay Packers defensive coordinator is officially heating up, and this time, the Packers are looking right at a division rival. Yes, the Packers are interviewing a Minnesota Vikings assistant coach, and this name might not be flashy to casual fans, but trust me, this is a very interesting candidate. Today, we're breaking down who Donte Jones is, why Matt Lafleur might like him, what the numbers say, and what this could mean for the future of the Packers defense. But before we dive in, smash, that like button, subscribe to the channel, and help us hit our huge goal of 2,000 subscribers right here on Packers Nation Report. If you're all about green and gold, you already know what to do. Let's get into it. Why this search matters so much with Jeff Hafley officially taking the head coaching job in Miami. The Packers are now looking for their fourth defensive coordinator under Matt Lafleur. That's not nothing. This hire will shape the identity of the defense, how young players develop, and whether Green Bay can stay aggressive instead of sliding backward. So every interview matters, and Donte Jones is now the second external candidate confirmed. Who is Donte Jones? Let's talk background. Donte Jones is 47 years old and has spent 5 of the last 6 seasons with the Minnesota Vikings. His roles, defensive backs coach, defensive passing game coordinator, last 3 seasons, and here's the big detail. Those last 3 seasons, they were under Brian Flores. That matters. Flores is known for disguised coverages, aggressive blitz packages, confusing quarterbacks, demanding accountability from the secondary. So Jones has been working inside one of the most creative defensive systems in the NFL. What do the numbers say? This is where things get interesting. Over the last 3 seasons, the Vikings have finished top half of the NFL in net yards per pass attempt allowed, and in 2025, they were considered one of the league's best pass defenses. That doesn't happen by accident. That's technique, communication, scheme execution, all things the Packers need to keep improving, especially in a division with elite quarterbacks. NFL and college experience, a big plus. Jones isn't just a Vikings guy. He's coached Cincinnati Bengals cornerbacks coach, 2018-2019 Miami Dolphins assistant DBS coach, 2016 to 2017 LSU as defensive coordinator in 2021. Now yes, LSU went 6-7 that year, but context matters. Massive roster turnover, transition year, and Jones was running the entire defense. Not just the secondary. That experience still counts. Wisconsin connection, this matters in Green Bay Packers fans. This part should jump out. Donte Jones was the defensive backs coach at Wisconsin in 2015. That Badgers team went 10-3, beat USC in the Holiday Bowl, and had a defense loaded with NFL talent. Green Bay loves coaches who understand the Midwest physical football development over flash that fits. What this tells us about Lafleur's thinking. Here's the big picture takeaway. Both external candidates so far, Christian Parker, Donte Jones, have one thing in common. Secondary background, pass game emphasis. That tells me Matt Lafleur wants better communication on the back end, fewer busted coverages, more versatility against modern passing attacks. This isn't about ignoring the front 7, it's about stopping elite quarterbacks in January. Packers Nation, your turn. Now I want to hear from you. Do you like the idea of hiring a defensive backs specialist? Someone from Brian Flores' coaching tree? Or do you want a more traditional front 7 guy? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk real football. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, like the video, subscribe to Packers Nation Report. Help us hit 2,000 subscribers. This is Victor. All gas, no brakes. Always green, always gold.